Holy hot dogs, Capcom, you released this game and Devil May Cry 3 the same year? Both games transformed each of their respective genres, and this one is a decade-old masterpiece. I'm going to put the sin count in the minuses for debatably the best year for this developer. Never again will such a large collection of sins be removed all at once. Enjoy it while you can, Capcom. For Resident Evil? Am I going on a crusade?
Resident Evil 4.
Video game series continues to pander to all the blind folks, even though that statement is an oxymoron in and of itself.
1998. I'll never forget it.
Because reading of exposition through narration will complete this summation. Also, you won't forget the whole year? There could be some personal catastrophic events that took place during that year. Like Emo Leon. No, wait, that happens a decade from now.
With the whole affair gone public, the United States government issued an indefinite suspension of business decree to Umbrella.
Even in this game's universe, the US government does whatever the hell it wants, including the inauguration of inadmissible decrees.
Soon its stock prices crashed, and for all intents and purposes, Umbrella was finished.
Capcom takes gratuitous time to perpetuate the collapse of Umbrella, even though they're the franchise's primal octagonal nemesis. I'm legitimately surprised because this is a pretty close to an accurate depiction of what a conversation between out-of-towners and citizens could look like. Even though all they've done is exchange a few lines, you get a great basic idea of each character's personality, and the tone of the conversation immediately deals with the perspective and motivation of the group. You don't need to add profanity every 5 seconds, nor disregard characters that will be mincemeat soon to add a sense of realism to the story. This is some fantastic introductory dialogue. And if they could only do something about the narration.
My assignment is to search for the president's missing daughter.
What? All by yourself?
Had this been a Middle Eastern country, there would have been troops there within a few days of discovering intel on the location of the president's daughter, assuming that was the case. And shortly after that, a press conference to inform the general public regarding some terrorist group that stole all of America's fidget spinners.
Who would have thought that my first job would have been a rescue mission?
Who would have thought your first job would be to do your actual job? Camera angles such as this one serve as a method to build up tension or set up a scare. I must add 2 sins here. 1, because this is not the sort of horror experience that would benefit from such a scene, and 2, in the long run, this scene is utterly pointless.
It's freezing.
Since this is some rural village in Spain, languages such as Spanish, Portuguese, or Italian would be commonplace. But Official de Policia decides to astound the audience with his English accent. Only a handful of people would be dumb enough to drive a car over a bridge like this.
I'll go and have a look around.
We'll stay and watch the car. Don't want to get any parking tickets.
And later join one of us for a barbecue and the other for a swim.
She's the daughter of the president, so try to behave yourself, okay?
Unless Leon has an innate desire to be sent to Alcatraz, this is a given. Why is Hunnigan even slightly suspicious of Leon's intentions? Has she been secretly spying on him macking on chicks in the government agency?
Forget your makeup or something?
Crows drop money and jewels, which makes me wonder why there's still crows in the world.
Excuse me. Sir?
I realize that Leon has no other choice than to speak English since his cohorts are too lazy to assist with the search, but what kind of answer did he expect? This is a remote area of Spain. You'd be lucky to find anyone that speaks English. And if the guy was cooperative, what was going to be his second course of action? Start playing charades? Ganado Man could have simply turned to his left instead of 270 degrees to his right. I know this is about as prominent as nitpicking goes, but why'd you turn right round? Like a record, baby. Later on, we see plenty of weaponless Ganado types, villagers, cultists, and combatants who attempt to grab Leon, but this one needed to telegraph his attack, making evasion easier.
Freeze! I said freeze!
Senor, ¿qué pasa? Helping or shooting this dog results in it running away. Was it that hard to animate a dying mutt? This one line was a key presenting statement at Capcom's board approval meetings during Resident Evil 5's introductory debut.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Leon would prefer Ganados assaulting him rather than feel left out of whatever party they didn't invite him to.
Little rough, don't you think?
A little Spanish, don't you think? Also, developers modeled Lewis with a thumb ring. It's a pretty extensive detail that could be easily glossed over since thumb rings have many meanings, including the title of profession. However, the most noteworthy aspect of the thumb ring is that when worn on either hand can signify 2 opposing ideas. Right being logical and conscious thought, and left that reflects a person's inner thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. This complements Sarek's character well as he segregates himself from Sadler's cult because of his guilt and beliefs. This is an impressive attention to detail. Discount Drew Pierce.
Perfect. The big cheese.
What?
Lewis is clearly aware that Sadler is in charge, yet misleads Leon because ultra butt whippings are an art form. Instead of using his pistol, Leon decides to engage with close quarters, which results with Mendez handing him his hindquarters.
Feeble humans.
Another nugget bowl speaks English for no reason. You know, I'm not sure how long Leon and Sarah were knocked out for, since they're taken from this point here to here, in which travel time alone would have been 10 minutes. This in fact is a sin, since falling unconscious after traumatic brain injuries lasts commonly a few seconds to a few minutes. Anyone out cold for longer than that quite possibly has suffered injuries that required them to be lying in a hospital bed with diagnosis and treatment close behind.
Now what brings a bloke like you to this part of the world?
Clearly this guy has never heard of immigrants or tourists.
What, are you supposed to be a cop or something? Nah, you don't look the type.
That's racist.
That is the incident with the viral outbreak, right? I think I might have seen a sample of the virus in a lab at the department.
And this subplot point was never brought up again.
Do something, cop!
Former cop telling former cop to cop. How the hell did they coordinate this evasive maneuver without losing hands or fingers?
There was a male civilian held captive. According to him, Ashley's in a church somewhere.
What happened to him?
He went to his ballet class with Beowulf, or so I heard. I want to inquire about Sadler's plan to execute Sarah and Leon, assuming there was a plan in the first place. After Sarah betrays Sadler and absconds with a sample of the plaga, Sadler captures him and confines him in a closet in a run-down house to execute him later, for some reason. Then pulls the exact same BS again when Leon frees Sarah. If the idea was to interrogate Sarah for the location of the sample, why isn't there more interrogation and less incarceration? And why did you send a Ganado to eliminate Leon after injecting him with the parasite? I have so many questions and no answers that are reasonably accommodating. Sad to say that the creepiest part of this game is the merchant, and for all the wrong reasons. Also, the merchant is a helpful profiteering ally that clearly started his business recently without any prior knowledge of trades. Hasn't this guy heard of supply and demand? Hell if I know where he gets his supplies, but there sure as hell isn't much demand. Also, the merchant is a magician, since carrying all those supplies to an area before Leon gets there and without even knowing where there is requires psychic abilities and elephant-level strengths. Resident Evil 4 was developed to form a linear path for players to take in-game. What's the point of programming multiple-piece locked doors that require you to take grandstanding detours just to open a door? Discount fishing.
You carry the same blood as us, it seems.
Mendez is one of the chief lieutenants of Sadler. How is he unaware that Leon was injected? Clearly, Sadler loves taking a dump on his lieutenants.
I've been able to get some new info that might help you.
Leon has his own private exposition line in the form of Hunnigan. This appearing out of nowhere BS is happening too frequently in video games now, so I'm going to name it the Houdini effect. Also, Leon's perfect jawline shouldn't be so perfect anymore. Ada Ex Machina. Crows in their nests now contain ammo and explosives. These birds are preparing for war. At this point, any rational person would have went, "That's it, I draw the lines at giant amphibian carnivorous swamp things." Delago decides to play with its food instead of swallowing the boat whole, prompting the writers to kill said creature with their pens. This creature is roughly as large as a sperm whale, which can weigh up to 45 to 50 tons, meaning this is some high quality rope, and Leon has a right leg made of solid titanium. Leon has nightmares of being infected with the parasite without knowing that he's infected with the parasite. Pimplehead. These levers activate the gates to allow or disallow entrance or exit from this area, so why do the gates open by themselves after El Gigante is defeated? Are these blockades self-aware? You're not seriously asking me to believe that all these dudes can actually pull El Gigante out of the cave, are you? Sadler installs gates in front of the two entrances to the prisoner room in the church, but doesn't bother to lock the door? Also, this security system has no traps in place to prevent some tightwad an infinite number of tries.
Hey, take it easy.
Jeez, Leon, the girl has been kidnapped. How do you expect her to react? With a come hither look?
Good work, Leon. I'll send a chopper over right away.
You mean they didn't have one prepped on hand? This is the president's daughter. I get that they don't want to cause an international incident, but is securing transportation that much to ask?
No longer will the United States think they can police the world forever.
So you're going to do it instead? Unconscious people must have third-person views of their own bodies from time to time.
Faith and money will lead you nowhere, Sadler.
By this logic, all of North America is doomed. And after one of the arrows hit Ashley, she died, rendering all aspects of this grand plan moot. Time to roll with the fidget spinner plan. That's a couple of fractures and or sprains, along with plenty of lacerations due to shattered glass.
What's gonna happen to us?
Infections, fever, and possibly death? Oh, you meant from the parasitic eggs. Leon and Ashley cross the bridge without a soul to be seen for miles, and then BAM! The entire village happens upon them in a matter of seconds from both sides. Leon kicks open the door, checks out the place, and doesn't spot Lewis at the opposite end of the room in plain sight. Either Lewis was upstairs tiptoeing his way down or hiding under the table, which makes the follow-up scene awkward since he still has enough confidence to hit on Ashley.
I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics too.
President's daughter! What the hell is wrong with this guy?
Perhaps the young lady might want to introduce herself first before asking someone his name.
Maybe you shouldn't act like such a prick before trying to get laid.
She... well, you know.
A transvestite? And then they gave up because reasons.
Bridge I crossed to get here's out. So I guess we have no choice but to keep moving.
Did you forget the objective was the extraction point? Remind me again why Leon is a genius? I know Leon and company have no way to reach the rendezvous point due to the retinal scanning door, but why here? What is leading Leon to come to this exact spot? I'll tell you. Plot convenience. This is the third time Mendez could have killed Leon, so naturally after strike 3 he was removed from the game. Yeah, Leon is dead. I don't care what sort of organic matter you're made of, you get caught in an explosion, you die. This BS cannon pointed toward this BS castle creates a BS pass for BS characters is BS.
Leon, where's your current location?
We decided to lay low in a castle, but it looks like it was a bad move.
So the rendezvous point was in the castle? Where was the chopper planning on landing? In the courtyard? With trees and other obstruction? Seems like this plan was doomed to fail from the get-go.
What? Repeat, Hunnigan. Great. Just my luck.
Luck is all you seem to have in this game, Leon. This cutscene makes no sense. Firstly, how does Lewis somehow know that Leon and Ashley are carriers? Even if I were to let that slide, maybe because he knows Sadler's tactics or something, Ashley then says,
Let me come with you.
seriously, what? Did you forget that he was a colossal womanizer? And you ditched that sentiment because he prescribed some drug that will reduce symptoms of your condition that he conveniently dropped somewhere? Leon's reaction is the only one that makes any sense at all, and the proprietary reason why this scene is not getting more sins. Also, all this confusion could have been avoided if Lewis wasn't super vague. Good job advancing the plot by being super vague.
I was starting to wonder when you might notice us.
Every damn person in this game can speak perfect English.
Or Mr. Scott, you can give us the girl because you're not worth a penny, I'm afraid. You can die.
And that's all he had to say about that. There were no imminent attempts at capture or imprisonment to be found. Your princess is in another castle. Discount Logan-san. This is the stupidest trap I've seen in a while. Not only does it block Leon from reaching Ashley, but also captures her perfectly in these metal clamps. No doubt to lengthen the game's runtime.
Where's Ashley?
Ah, so she fell into one of our wonderful traps.
Wow, great work, Leon. Is there anything else you'd like to tell him? Shouldn't Salazar be spending his time looking for Ashley instead of initiating these instant narcissistic meetings with Leon? Don't you have henchmen to do both tasks for you? And what's the point of communicating via Skype if you're just going to meet up with Leon every time you want to express your vanity?
Sagacious as I am, even I get lost here sometimes.
Sagacious. Adjective. Having or showing keen mental discernment and good judgment. If you were sagacious as you say, you would have won by now. Leon gets snuck up on. Now you might say that Ada is a master spy with as much capabilities as Leon, but then I'd say why is he able to repel Krauser's assassination attempt later in the game?
Ada. So it is true.
Leon plays the pronoun game, so Ada has to ask what it is. On that note, how is Ada still alive? Last I remember, she fell into a chasm in Umbrella's secret lab under Raccoon City. And then Leon is all chill about it. There is a discrepancy here, people. Capcom, you need to stop giving your fans the middle finger. Resident Evil 4 turns Ada into a walking petri dish for all pending sequels in the franchise, and all other main characters into invincible punching bags. This is one of those moments where zero context, backstory, and explanation makes you wonder what was the point of the cutscene. Cage match! Place your bets! My money's on Leon. After all, he seems to be the rabbit's foot of this game. Rocket launchers and glass cases. Yeah, I'd rather not think about what I just saw. Leon is right there. Now's your chance.
My boy Salazar will make sure you follow the same fate.
Oh, yeah. The midget. How is he still alive? There's a big gaping hole in his chest. Internal organs are not for decoration. Lewis gives Leon these pills as a final act of redemption, but the concept of the drug is dismissed entirely, especially when Ashley survives without ever using them. Who needs them anyway when you have weed?
The sample. Sadler took it. You have to get it back.
No, he doesn't, because he has no reason to. That's what happens when you're a super vague douchebag.
Lewis! Lewis!
Yelling louder and harder will not wake him up. Didn't you try this before? And Ashley did not give a damn about all the commotion happening on the second floor. Now I'm playing as a schoolgirl? This game is starting to feel less like Resident Evil and more like a discount Fatal Frame. This radio that Leon carries works as a homing beacon, Skype, and long-distance microphone. Salazar has all the advantages here, from insight about Leon's plans to all the superpowered bozos at his arsenal. Ada calls Leon a genius, which is quite inaccurate. His enemies are just really, really dumb. Like creating a 20-year-old Ashley with a 10-year-old brain kinda dumb. This is a neat contraption and all, but completely unsafe. And what is powering the gears? Midi-chlorians? Also, lava in the castle. Where does one even come to acquire lava, much less transport it? And don't tell me it's underground, because then the whole castle should be underground. What the hell is this? Coincidental convoluted contraption is conveniently comical. Remember when Sadler says,
It takes quite a lot of money to keep this church up and running.
finances are obviously going to be an issue if you keep spending it on rotating bridges and lava pits. The chief accountant should be fired. He had a grappling hook this whole time? I know he's not Batman, but geez. Plenty of other situations could have been a walk in the park if he wasn't such an idiot. This is not a safe place to store liquid nitrogen. 4 minutes? Where does this elevator go? To the moon? Logic. Out. The window. The limits of what a human being can do are stretched so far, it makes you wonder if Leon is human at all. What the fudge is up with this banana sundae? Instant karma. No nitrogen tanks here. The left hand decides to jack off instead of killing Leon. Discount Donkey Kong.
Monsters. Guess after this, there'll be one less to worry about.
Resident Evil. Guess after this, there'll be one less franchise to butcher.
Need a ride, handsome?
No! Oh, you meant in the boat.
Okay.
This isn't high school and she isn't your crush. You can stop with the voice, Leon.
Women.
That's true. I mean, sexist. How many times are these guys going to try the same trick? This guy was suddenly aware of Leon through the camera. Discount Peekaboo. Discount Claw Machine.
This is Leon. Request backup. I repeat, request backup.
Leon is inserted into his virtuous mission knowing full well this is a solo operation, and the primary reason there was no backup. But as we all know, a chopper shows up later on just to take a massive dump on plot consistency.
Let's get out of here.
Posing.
No way, Leon.
Way.
Developers said, let's have Leon avoid using the grappling hook as much as possible so he can look like even more of an idiot. Also, Leon and Ashley are dead. Mission complete, right, Leon? Okay, I can accept some of the stuff Leon has been doing since he's a trained agent and stuff, but Ashley should be broken at this point. And there's not even a scratch on her. Looks like the president packed his daughter with impregnability too.
I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt.
I know I'd be fine if you landed on your head. It's nice of Leon to give Ashley stuff to do to make her feel relevant to the game. Driving any construction vehicle requires no mandatory training or any operations manual of any kind. Leon is spared for the 50th time by Sadler because good plot development.
What's the news on our friend Leon?
He's not making it easy.
You expected Leon to make killing him easy? The deuce? Leon pulls out his knife instead of his gun, making this knife fight easier to initiate. But I will take this in right back since this knife fight was pretty awesome for its time.
Been a long time, comrade. Krauser.
Okay, developers, you need to start giving us the rundown on main character relations. So far, all you've done is confuse the hell out of the player.
What do you want? The sample Sadler developed, that's all.
And to kill you, if it wasn't obvious.
All for Umbrella's sake. Umbrella. Almost let it slip.
Discount Henchman. I know we want to have a cool Ada saves Leon moment, but did she seriously pull off a sniping shot with a pistol? Leon is the most unobservant scoundrel in this game. Seeing people somersault 20 feet in the air must just be another day in the life.
Since you're here, why don't I introduce you to it?
Resident Evil 4 tries to break the pronoun game record. This media franchise rips off the movie that rips off the games. Ripception? Divine intervention.
Do you really want to know?
Why your shirt has disappeared?
Sounds like you thought this one out pretty well.
If he had, you'd be dead. Also, Krauser decided since the assassination tactic failed once, he should just give up on that strategy entirely. Are you freaking kidding me? Krauser wants Leon dead for whatever reason, I don't care. What's bothering me is that there are literally thousands of options. Yet he insists on killing Leon from a quick draw standpoint. And don't give me that he's honor-bound BS, because assassinations are about as far from honor as you can get.
What do you intend to do restoring Umbrella?
So they can continue to make more games. We're in the middle of an epic boss fight. You know what we should make time for? Puzzles.
So, it seems you killed Krauser too. To tell you the truth, I was contemplating how to get rid of him.
You mean you weren't strong enough to kill him yourself? Then why were Krauser and Ada extra uptight about retrieving the sample?
When your assimilation with Las Plagas is complete, I'll have you serve as my guard.
Thus nullifying all clever tactics composed by Leon. I suppose it hardly matters since 90% of his constitution is liquid luck. Suddenly there was Mike. Not one Ganado notices this helicopter or bothers to shoot it down with the abundant number of RPGs provided to them. Is this even possible?
I wish you luck.
Irony. Sure, stab him in the leg. This can't possibly hinder his movements at all. And it doesn't.
We have to get that parasite out of your body.
But before that, I gotta save Ashley.
Fine. Let's split up.
Did I miss the part where they discussed what the plan actually was?
I'm taking Ashley back, whether you like it or not.
Leon, now!
Characters in this game just boil up insta-plans as they go along, and it always works.
Move!
It's nice of the writers to make Leon extra stupid in front of Ada just to overshadow her elegant rescue later. Oh no, fire! We haven't seen anyone Terminator themselves through that before.
There's only one way to find out. You operate.
I don't know which is more convenient. Finding an operating table with the exact function of parasitic removal, or that it is automatically powered by the push of a button. I know they don't have too many options, but what would have happened if Leon had died on the operating table? Does anyone ever think anything through in this game? Operating equipment this convenient makes you wonder why medical science hasn't been revolutionized in the rest of the world.
Something's not right. Ashley, you stay here.
There is no way that Leon could have known to come here to save Ada that there's a disturbance in the force and that Ashley would be safer down below. The only way he could have known this is, you guessed it, a stroke of luck. Developers, why bother putting characters in life and death scenarios when you make them virtually immortal? Sadler gets blown up by a rocket launcher, and yet somehow the sample remains in one piece. Fatality! Never mind.
If I were you, I'd get off this island too.
She really pushed it.
Wait, you knew what she was up to? The deuce? Posing again. And during imminent danger. Come on, even Samus knows to pose after escaping. Some BS.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
Bye-bye, freedom. Hello, Alcatraz.
So, who was that woman anyway?
She's like a part of me I can't let go.
Too much information? Driving off into the sunset cliché. Also, the majority of the infected Ganado villagers died, but as long as Ashley is okay, it's a happy ending.
Help me, Leon!
Hang on, sweetheart.